Hey y'all, JamiThatsMe here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another review of Love is Blind. Okay, we're gonna get into episodes 8 and 9. All right, I might be a tad bit behind, but I also feel like I'm on time. Okay, so Annie and Nick, they're in their apartment, and she speaks about how she may be a bit emotional and she may be passionate at times, but she's passionate about him. And he says, thanks, but I was a bit put off, okay, the other day when you were sitting up there saying things that I didn't even say. I cannot stand a person like that. I feel like a person like that is dangerous, in my personal, okay? When you don't know how to properly process what somebody is telling you, so you feel like, oh, this is what you're really saying, and he never said those damn things, okay? You literally put words in his mouth to validate the ignorant ass feelings that you have and justify your dumb ass feelings and your reaction to a person when they didn't even say that, because you pretty much feeling rejected and they ain't even trying to reject your ass. Like, Annie, I can't. All right. So he pretty much tells her that, when he says this to her, like he didn't like the fact that she did that. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. It won't happen again. He said it can't happen again. It can't happen again. You know why? Because I'm trying. And if I keep trying and you keep kicking me down every time I'm trying, I'm just gonna damn give up on you. First of all, Nick, be clear. You been gave up on her. In my personal, I truly wholeheartedly believe that Nick did this show for attention. Nick did not do this show to get with her. The way you bopped from Kate and then Diddy bopped over here to Annie, I don't believe you. You need more people. Okay? You need more people. And I don't think that you're going to give up your skiing lifestyle and all of that, at least not at this point in your life. At least that's just my personal. But I'll be surprised. I'll be very surprised if they sit up there and officially get married, continue to work on a relationship. I won't be surprised if at the reunion we hear that they get a divorce or some shit. Like, I just don't. Y'all shouldn't be together. Anywho, so she's over there talking about how she's never loved anyone, like she's loved him and she's all in. And I'm like, what? So a person that you've only known for a few weeks, you've never loved them? You've never loved anyone else that you've known much longer? That you love this person you just met? Okay. And then she's over here picturing a life with him. So he says he's doing the same thing and that he won't let his doubt get in the way. All right, then, honey. Let's get to Madison and Joe, because I don't know about Nikki and Annie, y'all. And some part of me, because I'm not crazy about either one of them, some part of me is like, y'all deserve each other at the same time. But let's keep going. So Madison and Joe, he's wondering what her family is gonna really think about him, right? And how he felt like when they were on the phone and stuff, they were pretty receptive of him. Things seem to be going good, right? She talks about how she's never introduced nobody to her family before. You know what? I ain't mad at you for that, girl. Okay, she likes to get to know a person for herself, see what it is before I let you come around and meet my family. You know what? I ain't even mad at that. Now, he asked her if she's scared and whether she has any reservations about marriage. And she says that she's, getting worried now. Like, I ain't got no reservations, but now that you keep bringing it up, should I be concerned? Because I'm feeling like I should. You seem to be worried. So he says that she doesn't show any worry on her face. And if he saw her concerned about marriage, it will make it feel more human, right? And some part of me is like, well, don't be projecting onto her. Like, she's completely sold about you, basically, is what it sounds like to me. You're not completely sold on her, nor are you completely sold on marriage, in my personal. So he thinks that she's too sure about him. I said, oh, yeah, he's scared. If you feel like she's too sure about you, I don't know. Because, see, I feel like, to me, I don't think it's that Madison is too sure. Like, she's too sure. I don't know. I feel like who's too sure to where it's alarming, in my opinion, for me, I feel like that would be Annie. Annie is too damn sure. But not so much as Madison. I mean, maybe they are both too sure, but just in different ways. But she likes you. She cares about you. She wants to do this. You make her feel good. You say certain things to her. Like, she can really see this. And I feel like for you to question that, it's because you ain't been genuine this whole time. All right? So I think that she should be scared too. Now I don't think she says that she's not scared or whatever, or she's not too sure or whatever. She feels like she found her person. And that's what I'm thinking too. Like, she just found a person that she really like, care about, whatever, want to move forward. So it is what it is. She says day to day she has reservations when he shuts down and he starts withdrawing from her. And I'm like, any person would. He says he is 100% in it, but it's hard. She thinks he is being more negative than it really has to be. Okay. Now, of course, at some point she gets emotional with all of this back and forth, and him saying something, and she's saying something, and both of them feeling misunderstood or whatever the case is. She feeling like he's hesitant on marrying her and everything. So she getting stressed out. She getting emotional, right? He feels like he's just trying to communicate with her, but she over there taking it a different way. And maybe it's about how you're communicating. I don't know. I feel like if there is any hesitance that he is feeling, I think for me, Madison, you should, be open to hearing what it is he got to say, so that should that day come, you're not shocked and surprised if he does say no or something. So maybe that is what he means by you being too in it. You're not even trying to hear anything else outside of that. But you need to know the reality of the situation if there's any hesitancy at all. So he feels like he can't express himself, right? And she just feels like he pissing her the hell off. And she don't like the fact that he not too sure about her like she is about him. So that's where they are. Y'all, when I say I don't want nobody to get married, I don't want nobody to get married. I am hating this season so fucking much, and I really wish we could go back to season 1 and bring back some genuine couples for real, for real. I don't feel like they try to give us some people that really want to meet each other, really want to have something. I feel like they do stuff, for the ratings. I don't know what the fuck they do. But a lot of these people that could have been in better couplings, they went against it. They went against it. And I don't want to see a single person say yes at the fucking altar. But I know it's going to be at least one person that's going to say yes. And I guarantee you it's going to be Megan and Jordan. If those two say no, I'll be very surprised. If they do say no, I hope that it's coming from Megan's side. I hope Megan comes to reality for herself and realize this is not what I want. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to continue to move about life as I am being successful and he is not quite there, and I have to stop and feel a certain way or whatever it is. Like I'm hoping I don't want nobody saying yeah. It's just tacky. Anton and Ali are both back at home after working night shifts. And she mentions how her mom used to cook and take care of everything for her, cook, clean, whatever it was she needed to do when she was in school full time. And he looking like, okay, that's what your mama did? Now, she mentioned that she mentioned a private chef. That's what she talks about. She talked about a private chef earlier in the conversation. He told her that he would have, or at least she would have to work like 100 hours just for them to get a private chef. All right. And she says while she's in school, she won't have time to clean. Right. She said it won't be a priority for her because she's going to be focused on her studies. And I don't fully fault her on that completely. Right. Because if you're in school full time, depending on what she's going to school for, it can take a toll on your mental or whatnot. But I do feel like prioritizing will allow you to get that house damn clean. However, it may not cost that damn much just to get an apartment cleaned. Right? It might just be like a little 200, I don't know, but I would think that it doesn't cost that much to get the house or at least one of the rooms or whatever it is clean, right? So I understand that, but at the same time, she wants everything done for her. She don't want to do nothing. She wants to be a kept woman, and I don't really want to fault her on that. I just think she's asking the wrong person to give that to her. Right? She wants to be in her extreme, not just her soft era, but in her extreme soft era while she goes through school. And I just don't know. I feel like if Anton tells her yes at the altar, he's telling her yes because of how she looks on his arm. Not so much as the headache she's going to bring when they at home. And you could tell Anton gets super annoyed with her, but he never expresses his real feelings, which is something that's interesting that he does in general, it seems. He ain't really expressing it to her, at least that's how I feel. And then when other people inquire about their relationship, he loves to keep certain things private and act like everything is good. And I feel like that is such a problem. Y'all don't even know what y'all really gonna be like when y'all are faced with these big disagreements. So we'll keep going. I'm gonna say this because I don't want to forget. But like towards the end of the episode, there's gonna be a moment where she learns some things about him she's not too happy about, and she's like, they're gonna talk about it later. But in the next episode, we didn't see where they talked about it. So are y'all gonna flash it back and let us see how they're gonna resolve or have this type of conversation with the information that she's learned? But let's keep going, right? So then she asked him if he can make enough to support the both of them, and he says yes, he can. Oh, okay then. Okay, I think he would do enough to have this kept woman, but the problem is going to come when there's more she's trying to pile up on him. I think he will keep you oh so much. This is where the line draws, okay? I'm going to keep you to where the rent is paid. This is taken care of. All this extracurricular shit you're trying to do, that's not priority for this household, you're gonna have to figure that out. And I think that's gonna be her problem. So then she says that she says school's gonna be expensive, and I can still get Botox. So basically that's the other problem, right? When she asked him, "Are you gonna be able to make enough to support the both of us?" What does that look like? Tell him, when I say support the both of us, this is what I'm talking about. In addition to, I'm expecting you to pay for my school, right? And she told us some school's gonna be expensive, and I still could get Botox. Like what? He needs to hear those things, because I don't think he was thinking he would have to pay for your school and Botox. So yeah, now they talk about having joint accounts, right? Once they get married, they will get a joint account, and she feels like they should have a separate one. I agree. And he gonna sit up here and tell me something he don't see the benefit. What's the benefit for having it? Like, why? Can you explain it? Huh? Now I'll say this. Let me say this now. For me, if you making your own money, she definitely needs a separate account. All right. Some men, if they are the breadwinners and they doing everything in the household, they may be okay with you having a joint account and then you getting a little money and putting it on the side or whatever in another account. But I doubt it. If he's doing everything and all his money is going into one account, he's going to want that one joint account so he can see what's going in, what's coming out, whatever the case is. But here's the thing. You can't stop her from going to get a separate account. She can go get one and not tell you a damn thing. Like, how you going to know? Right? But anywho, so he don't see the benefit. And she says that maybe she doesn't want to tell him how much she spends on her Botox. I guess, honey. I guess she do need to go get her a Botox account, because it don't seem like he's trying to pay for it anyway. But anywho, she's now, after she says all of this to him, she feels like he's acting a bit off, right? She's like, I don't know, something's up with you. Like, what's going on? You're a bit off. And he's like, well, I've been up for almost 24 hours. Like, I'm really tired. No, you just don't know how to really communicate, out of fear of either upsetting her and making her decide she want to leave you. Whatever it is, you're acting a little bit like how Megan would act. Like when she first told Jordan he was like irritating her, getting on her nerves or whatever, she was kind of crying, but she was laughing at the same time. And I think she was trying to make light of the situation, because as she mentioned during the sit down with her family and him, she mentioned something like, I've been afraid to share certain things or be honest with my feelings or whatever, out of fear that people would leave me. And I feel like that's what Anton is doing as well. Now, I also think Anton was sitting up there wondering whether or not Miss Girl is worth the headache for real. But I think that you're gonna let her be the headache because of how attractive you find her. Now, Edmond and KB, they're at the house. He's making breakfast. His mom comes over. His mom comes in. She says she has some questions, for KB. She asked what coconut hit her in the head for her to pick her son. And I'm like, I know that probably was supposed to be a joke, but I really didn't find that funny at all. I mean, I feel like sometimes parents will say little jokes like that, though. You know what I'm saying? Like what struck your nerve? What did for you to choose my son? And it might be a lighthearted joke, but I just feel like, damn, you coming in there telling me what coconut hit you on your head to pick my son? You already coming at it like he a damn headache. Like, ugh, you want to be with my kid like he's just that bad of a child? Like, I mean, not a child, but an adult. Like, that don't sound good to me, but that's just my personal. So she says it was just her falling for him and his story and his vulnerability from behind the wall. And at a later time, I will tell y'all why I do not care about how KB feels when it comes to Edmond. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys paired her up with this person. I'll tell y'all about that later once we get to that portion. So she says that she was able to relate because she's a social worker. And his mom says there are things that she may not even know about him. And at times she wants to have a conversation and open up with him. And he's like, Mama, don't open up those boxes. Don't open up those boxes. And I feel like the reason Edmond says this to the mom is not only does he not want to go back down that road, but also he don't want you to go back down that road. Because one thing I do believe, I guarantee you, his mama likely does not remember some of the stuff that she put him through. I guarantee you. And when he tries to recall certain events of what he experienced as a child, she may shun him and feel like that didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I would not be surprised. Now, Edmond tells his mom that he is so ready to be married because all of his siblings are married now, right? Okay, I understand. I hate it for Edmond because Edmond When he was over there in the bed crying to KB, and he's like, I'm such a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. What I was really hearing was like, I'm always the oddball out. I'm always the weird one. I'm always the one that's misunderstood. And I bet you that showed up like that when he was a child too. And now it's gotten into adulthood, and this is how he is, right? All my other siblings, I mean, everybody else, like, I want that too. But he may not be as, I hate to say as normal as everybody, because I don't want to say he's not normal, but he just doesn't show up how everybody else does, you know? So I don't know, but good luck to him. So his mom says that he's picked some good girls in the past and she raised a good guy. And it's like, you raised a good guy? And it's no shade at all, but hearing that this boy was bouncing from foster care to foster care, I'm sorry, y'all feel how y'all want to feel. I don't feel like that's raising. Okay? And then he said, and he could have been not telling the full truth, but I'm going off of what he told us, okay? He would be over there with his mama 2 to 3 months at a time, and then he'll have to go somewhere else. So at what point were you giving back to your parents permanently? That's something that we did not learn, unless I missed it. Leave it down below in the comments, because I'm like, did you get back with your parents in high school? Was it in junior high? And then that's where she was able to mold and shape you into a certain person after she, you know, dealt with the vices and stuff of her life? Like, what's what? Okay, but anywho, she talking about she raised a good guy and how she can't just let anybody have her sons and stuff like that because of how she raised them. I don't see that right there. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be real clear. Those type of women, y'all be giving delusional for me. I don't care the way I want y'all to feel away. The way I want y'all to feel away, that's fucking delusion. The way that I raised, I can't just let anybody have y'all, but you let anybody have them when they was children because y'all could get y'all shit together. And I'm only going off of what your son said. I don't be liking mamas like this. So she says that when they check, she gonna talk about how her and her sister checked KB's Instagram and gonna say no. As if your son is too good for her. Do you hear the delusion? But, you know, after meeting her, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like her. I bet you fucking do. I bet you do. And you don't even know nothing about the girl. You've heard her voice. She's had a simple little conversation with your ass, and you over here like, I like her. I bet you do. This lady deals with women like you, okay? Or women like you were in social work. So she's going to listen. She's going to hear out the story. She's going to be patient and all of that extra shit. Like, girl, shut up. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Feel away. Right? And in addition to that, so she says, you know, she was just talking or whatever. And I just remember making a note saying, you know, ma'am, you can't judge anybody's past based on your own past. Okay? Then she goes on talking about, you know, I feel a baby coming. I feel a baby on the way. I talked to such and such. And they said, now you better go over there and talk to Edmond. Da-da-da-da-da. KB, you better not say yes. I'm sorry. You better not say yes to this man. You better not say yes to this man, because not only are you saying yes to this man, you'll be saying yes to his family, and you better not. Okay? So then she said something about, you know, her daughter-in-laws be ratting her out. And I'm like, what kind of shit is that? So what are you doing that is causing the daughter-in-laws to rat you out to your sons, their husbands, and saying, oh, your mama said this or that or whatever the case? Well, like, what is that? That, for me, sounds like you are not supposed to be doing certain things. You're not supposed to either be taking, like drinking. You're probably not supposed to be taking, I don't want to put substances on you, but you're not supposed to be doing something you're not supposed to do. And in addition, I would not be surprised if it's tied to money. I would not be surprised if it's tied to money, and she be over there asking them girls for a little money, and they when it's time for the husbands to get whatever they need to get financially from the wives or whatever, if that's the case, then it's like, or if the wife, they ain't even got to be that the husbands need anything. They may be like, hey, babe, can you give me $50 or whatever like that? Let me get $100 for to go do this, da-da-da. Oh, I thought I just gave you some money. Oh, yeah, I had gave it to your mama because your mama had said she needed whoop. Right? So that could be one of the ways that the daughters are ratting her out, because you over there in they fucking pockets. Like, I'm sorry, it's about this mama. I don't like a delusional mama like this. I feel like I've seen and know and come across a person like this in my lifetime, and not in my family, but I've definitely seen it and come across a person like this, and this shit is like disgusting. I can't stand delusional ass mamas acting like they stuff don't stink, like you ain't been putting your kids through hell and high water. Like, is you cool? It's something about it. Like, And if you gotta worry about me ratting you out to your son, miss me with it. Miss me with it. Miss me Miss me. This is a family I do not want to be a part of. So his mom ended up getting very emotional, during the visit or whatever the case was, and she's kind of happy for him and proud of him and all this and that. Which I go away from us with this. Annie and Nick. So he takes her to his house in the mountains, which looks really nice. I think that she ended up being very impressed by his home, so much so that she was feeling bad for even wanting him to leave his house to come be with her. But it didn't stop her from still asking him to leave his damn house and come be with her. So she says she knows it makes him happy being up there, but I can't leave right now. I can't leave from where I am because I have a business or whatever. And he says, I'm not asking you to leave. I said, exactly. Now, why she get pissed off by that? Okay, so she says that she wants him to come stay with her at her apartment for a few months. And then after that, then they'll go and buy a house. Girl, what's a few months? You gonna be ready to buy a house in like three to 4 months? Oh, okay. And how you know he want to attach his name to another loan when he already got a house? So she says that she knows he's worked out or whatever, or at least worked from home or something like that. And she doesn't want to ask him to like give everything up after he does, what all he does. She don't want to ask him to give everything up. But since you work from home, whatever, just come be with me for a little bit. And then, we'll go buy a house and go from there. So he was like, well, okay. Well, I think about it like cool because, it's not like you're asking me to sell the place, and I always want to have this home and maybe another one and stuff like that. So, it's good to have options, And I'm like, Nick gives me Anton when Anton was in the pods. When Anton was in the pods, one of the things I didn't like when it came to him and Allie, I felt like everything she said, he agreed with. He was like, yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I had a dream too. That's what I felt Anton did, and I feel like Nick is doing that now. So anywho, Anton and Allie end up linking up with his friends. So first of all, we ain't meet no family yet. Not from Anton, and that's very suspicious. You don't find that suspicious? Like, why hasn't anybody met your family? So you meet the friend, and then his girlfriend, who he has not even been with that long, only been with the girl for 4 months. And then I think she said they went out on one date or whatever, and then he came over to our house and never left. Girl, that's giving a mooch for sure. But anywho, so they're meeting, and Allie says that she doesn't like Denver, right? And they talked about moving to Florida. And I was trying to watch his friend the whole time when they were talking, and his friend's facials to me was kind of giving like, okay, I'm going to keep this straight face, but my homeboy not moving to no Florida. Well, he might. He might move to Florida just to be beside her because he feels like she's a beautiful woman. And I really think it's going to be arm candy for Anton. So Anton says, it's about the lifestyle. It's about the lifestyle, right? So his friend asked him if he's really in love with her or if he really loves her. And Anton says, yeah, he says, I want to marry her. That's what he says. Meanwhile, the girls, they go to the bathroom. While they're in the bathroom, this is where Ali learns that, or Allie, however you say her name, this is where she learns from the girl, okay? She learns that, I can't believe that you're dating Anton. And she's like, why? Or at least I can't believe Anton's getting married. She's like, why? Is he not the marrying type? And she was like, no, not really. He's not the marrying type. Then she asked, do you know if they're going to go to the strip club or whatever for the bachelorette? And Allie says, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. He ain't saying it. She said, oh, okay. Because he likes to go to the strip club, with Joseph, and I really don't like it. And Allie says, that's interesting. That's interesting because I thought that was something that he would do when he's single, not something that he would do when he's in a relationship. And being in a relationship, I just find it to be so inappropriate. So then here go the friend. Oh, that's what they were doing when they were single. Girl, you only been here for 4 months, ho. You only been here for 4 months. And if you don't like that first of all, the friend pissed me off, okay? I'm not going to hold y'all. Number one, the way she was spilling this tea on Joseph, it was given that you were dry hating. That's number one. Number two, some part of me felt like, nah, tell her what it is so she know the type of man that she finna get. Like, let her know what you've seen these past 4 months, right? But then also when you told too much tea and then you want to turn around and take it back, that's what I didn't like either. So you also would be one of those type of girls that will lie to her too at the same time. Because that's what you did. Like, oh, no, that's when they were single. Well, then if it was when they were single, why would you say that you don't like it when you weren't even around? And Allie tried to clock that. Like, you've been around for 4 months, right? You know what I'm saying? So what you talking about? I said, ooh, girl, I said, this a little manipulator liar here or something. I don't know. I don't know, girl, but Anton gonna be pissed when he find out that you opened your mouth a little too much. But let him be mad. Let him be mad. These are conversations that they should have. Like, okay, how I expect you to operate as a married person. I don't think nothing's wrong with that. So they do need to have the talks. So Allie says Anton told her that Joe was the one that liked to party and, drink a lot and do all of that. And she said, girl, no, it's both of them. I said, girl, you better spill that now. Just don't be trying to take it back after you done spilled it. Okay? It's definitely both of them. And then Allie is now over here questioning her connection with this man. Like, do I really want to settle down with him because there's certain things that he does that I don't want a husband to do at all? So I don't blame Allie. I don't blame her. But when we get into episode 9, Jordan and Megan, they're getting ready to go tour some houses. So her budget is $1.5 million and $2 million. And of course, he's a bit on edge because he know he ain't even bringing in that type of money to the table, okay? So he says that he doesn't want to be a financial burden and doesn't want her to have to compromise because he doesn't have what it is that she has. He says he feels like a mooch. He don't know if she feels that way, but that's how he would feel. And I said, true. But when he go over there to talk to Megan about how he feeling, Megan talking like she got it all planned out. She's like, okay, so the house in LA would sell for $1.5 million, okay? And then me and you, we would just pretty much get go on a loan together for $500,000, pretty much making, our home like $2 million. And I'm like, to me personally, I feel like that's dumb. If you know the house is going to sell for $1.5 million, then find a home for $1 million, pocket the $500 million instead of taking out a loan for $500,000. I'm sorry, yeah, pocket the money of $500,000 instead of taking out a loan for $500,000. Right? You probably could find some homes in a nicer area that's and gives you more than what you want for $800,000, and y'all are pocketing about $7. Like. And it's no disrespect to Megan, but it's like, I'm sure she's making good investments, but it's like, do you know you're going to have this money forever to be paying a $1.5 million and then you doing a lot of it by yourself? And let me tell you something, Megan, I think you find validation for yourself in being able to do all of these things for this man, but over time, you're going to get tired footing the fucking bill. You're going to get tired showing up financially for your family, and he's not at a place where he is. If y'all are 5 years into y'all marriage and ain't changed, at some point, I know he doesn't want to be a mooch, but I do believe he will get comfortable being one. And then letting you take care of shit. Right? And you're going to get sick of that. So I don't think you should say yes now either. You really should have went with Mike, somebody that's more on your level. Okay? Anywho, but I don't know. I guess this whole diabetes situation and this baby got her in the chokehold, child. So good luck to her. Anyway, hopefully she can, maybe he'll quit his job and they'll do a business together or something like that. And she may get a higher percentage out the business and then that'll bring his wealth up. I don't know, but good luck. Right? So that's what they got going on. Let's get to the rodeo night, okay? Because at rodeo night, everybody is about to meet. And I hate that they told them this. I think it was one season where everybody was surprised that some of the folks from In the Pies came out. I don't know what season that was. But what season was that? I'm picturing faces, but I can't think of which season. However, I kind of wish that they did not tell people that these folks were on their way, because they're really getting mentally prepared and all of this and that to see these people. Nah, let them folks just pop up. And once they walk over to the group and start dapping them up, it's like, oh snap, who's that? Oh my God, I don't think they should get a heads up. But everybody knew they had a heads up that they were finna meet the people that they communicated with in the pies, right? So Megan ended up meeting Luca's mom, and we learned about that. Luca's mom is more so concerned about her son being on camera, and rightfully so they won't be doing that. But Megan at some point will be meeting the son. Allie talks about Anton liking strippers and stuff like that, loving to go to the strip clubs, and she don't like things like that, okay? She's starting to question whether or not he is really the one for her. She also talks about how after he gets off work from working the night shift in the morning, this man has 2 beers every morning after work. Allie, baby, don't think too much. Don't think too hard. Don't think about it too much. What you need to do is right there at the front of your mind. Skip out, okay? Skip out on that one. So that's what they got going on. I just don't want nobody saying yes. Patrick was like one of the first singles to arrive, and he tells the guys about Casey. Casey is not showing up. She did not show up. He talks about how she played him out by avoiding him and not giving him his fucking ring back. He wanted to link up with her like the next day and stuff, trying to talk to her and stuff on the phone. She had like she's too busy, whatever case. She hadn't read it, whatever. On some FS, he asked her for the ring back. She said, no, I ain't giving you nothing back because you act like you're the only person that was affected by all of this, so whatever the case is. And I'm like, oh, what? What? Yeah, she would have to get that ring back. I feel like they should put that in the clause. If you propose to a person and then at some point refuses to be with them, please return the ring. Okay? Please return that ring, or y'all need to compensate that person out of that person's paycheck. If you decide to keep the ring, then we'll go ahead and take it out of your paycheck. Because I just don't think that's fair, especially with how she did him. That was not cool at all. That man was like, damn, I could see if she gave it a full day, but she really pretty much broke it off after a few hours. Like, damn. But you know, I also don't feel bad for you, Patrick. Like, that's what you get. You should have just went home instead of trying to find somebody else to move forward to the next phase of the connection with and just let it build from there. You already knew what it was. I just hate that you went with that. But anywho, everybody else started to flow in. And when Brandon gets there, right, he walks in and he'll go, Annie, y'all, when I tell y'all I can't stand Annie. He walks in and Annie starts talking about how, he was telling me that I was his number one. That's what he was saying. He was saying that I was his number one, and I was telling him, like, fight for me. And, he wouldn't. And it's like, he just wants everything handed to him. And it's like, girl, what are you talking about? He wants everything handed to him. That's what you want. You want everything handed to you. What are you talking about? Okay? I'm like, girl, Nick didn't even fight for you. What are you saying? Nick did not fight for you. You literally were a backup. Hello? Oh, I just don't like her. Okay? This man, like, Nick came to her at the last minute after telling somebody else that he loved them. Then he coming to you as a last resort. And she gonna get her ass in a confessional and say that Brendan, he would tell me that he loves me so much. And, he would say that I'm his number one. But, that energy is not really being conveyed here tonight. Why would he give you the energy of showing you how much he loves you and wants you when you've made your decision, when you're engaged? When he did go to try to fight for you and beg you to change your mind because it was him from the beginning, you turned him down. You rejected him. So why would he be all up your ass now? And the only reason why you would want him up your ass is so that you can make Nick mad to get a reaction out of Nick. Not because you really want Brendan. I can't stand her. So anywho, Jordan is over there talking to Brendan about Annie. And so Brendan is just like, dog, like, I really felt like we worked, I really liked her. Like, I thought we were locked in, like, it was good, the vibes. And Jordan's like, no, I don't see that with you. I see that with Nick, though. It fits better with Nick. Like, that's what I see. I don't think y'all worked. And he was like, bro, I'm telling you, we worked. And I'm like, Jordan, you wouldn't know because you've never witnessed them. Of course, you're going to be more so on the side of Nick because you actually witnessed these two together, but you've never seen these two together, so you don't damn know. But Jordan goes on to tell him, like, let it go, bro. Let it go, bro. She's better with Nick. Now, on the flip, I am like, let it go because let Nick have her. He ain't getting nothing no better. And she really would have just been a headache for you. She would have been a total fucking headache for you. So, let it go. Now, Megan and Mike are chatting, and he apologizes for making her cry that one night when he pretty much left the pods or whatever, and he wanted to reach out to her and be all cocky in her DMs and stuff, but I guess he changed his mind. But she did let him know, like, that cockiness is what was making me afraid of choosing you. You know what I'm saying? So I was a little concerned about that because I've dealt with guys like that before. Those are your type is the type that I have typically ran into, and it has never gone anywhere. So when it comes to Jordan, he is confident. He's not cocky like you, but he's confident in a different way, and I really like him. And there were just so many things that were signs for me that made me realize this is where I should be, right? And so he asked her, did she make a mistake, or do she feel like that? She said, no, I'm completely in it. Like, I'm locked in with this person. So she sold. But let's be clear, the reason she's really sold on him, she loved the Tats and she loved the Zeke. That's what it is. But good luck, girl. Annie and Patrick talk. right? And y'all know Annie, not Annie, but Anna. Anna and Patrick talk, and Anna ended up leaving the show a bit early. And she says that, she kind of felt bad for not saying anything. And she said that when she learned about him getting engaged, she was like, oh, okay, well, he'll be fine. If he got engaged to somebody else, it was never going to be me anyway. And he was like, except for it was going to be you, but BIT, you left. Like, what you want me to do? You left, okay? So she says, well, then how can you say that it was going to be me, but when I left, you still chose to go and get engaged to somebody else? Now, I do understand her perspective, because if it was me and that's how you felt, then you would not have just proposed to anybody. You would have ended the process completely. Well, in all fairness to him, he didn't have to end his process when you left, even though I personally feel like he should have left when the other guy left, right? But he didn't have to end his process. He could have continued to foster this situation with this other young lady, see where it goes, and see if there would have been a genuine connection. And I think he should have honored the fact that there was not a genuine connection. Instead, he continued to go with it because his whole goal was to move along in the process of filming, in my personal. I don't think it was for him to genuinely get a partner, to me. Because if this girl just told you that her ex-boyfriend, supposedly who I think is still her boyfriend, encouraged her to go on another reality show to get her name out there, and then he'll be there waiting, and then told her the same thing when it comes to Love is Blind, you deserve to get played if you continue to move forward with her. Sorry, you got a little too desperate for me. And that's what it is, okay? You definitely should have left with the other guy, right? But anywho, it is what it is. He got to live with that decision, okay? Now, Annie tells Nick that so when Annie and Nick and Edmond are over there, everybody's chatting around, she talks to Nick, and she's saying something about him being perfect, and Edmond's like, oh my God, wow, oh my God. Wow, just to hear that, even though we know you're not, but just to hear that, he looking back at KB and stuff. So KB like, what happened? What happened? Because it pissed him off, and he's just like, oh, well, she said that he's perfect or whatever like that. Like, dang, just to hear that, because Edmond likes to be hyped up. All right. And I can understand that, but I think Edmond just needs to make sure that he properly communicates that, like, what's very important to you. I can be very hard on myself at times, so what's very important to me is my partner, highlighting my great qualities about myself or whatever. He needs to work on his communication skills severely, not using somebody else's situation thinking that's going to influence how your partner is supposed to respond to that, all because you love to compare yourself and you take what other people got going on in their life to be like the bar setting thing. Like, no, okay? So she over there confused or whatever, because he says that, I don't see nothing positive. And she's like, what? Boy, I just told you how much I appreciate you. Like, you making it seem like I don't really do enough. Like, what's going on? Like, why would you even bring that up here? Okay, you could have told me this type of stuff when we was at the house. I give you plenty of time to have a conversation with me, and you fucking don't. Okay, and you want to do that shit here? Like, yeah, hell no. Okay, so Edmond pretty much played himself. She over there asking this man questions, and he don't even know how to answer. He's just struggling to answer. I said, baby, you got to learn how to communicate. You need some help, okay? So she gets upset. She goes to the bathroom. She cries. I understand people may feel away. I don't feel no way at all about her crying. I don't feel no way at all about how he made her feel. I do not care. The reason why I don't care is I feel like a lot of people may be like, oh, well, I can't believe y'all have her on this show. And, I can't believe that this was the only option available to her. No, it was other guys out there. She chose to be with Edmond. Edmond is the same man that was behind that damn wall in them pies as he is out here. And because in my personal, she is that social worker to me, I feel like KB often I think that's where she thinks her strong suit is sometimes, like showing up and being supportive of people and helping them through their issues and this and that, and she swears she's different from other women. But it's like, you signed up for this science project. That's what you wanted. This man ain't showing you nothing different. Now, one thing that would be different would be him kissing the floors. She didn't see that. If he dug in his nose and ate boogers or whatever he did, because he said something about being a booger eater or whatever. Or did he say that on social media? Because I did go to his social media page. Whichever one it was, he ate his boogers or something, okay? In addition to that, it was something else that he did, the whole running track thing in the building. Like, it was just weird. But those are things that she may not have seen. But aside from that, she saw his personality. And if anything, she sat up in that pod and she was flattered by his actions. Like, oh my God, my little baby. Not you got me in here falling for you because you're falling for his story. which is what you probably do often as a social worker. Like, oh, let me see how I can help you. Let me see how I can show up. And you fucked yourself up in my personal because you sit up there and say, oh, I'm tired of being a strong woman. I don't want to have to be strong. I don't want to have to do, or whatever it is that she said. I don't think it was exact word strong woman. It was something else, tough or something like that. I don't want to have to be tough all the time. Whatever it is, I feel like you did that to yourself because you show up in these type of roles where, to me, you want to do for others. And then if they don't return the favor and do for you or whatever, then now you disappointed. I mean, this is what you wanted. You kind of overdid that. Like, I'm tired. Like, if you feel so tired of having to be tough and having to be this independent woman or whatever, why would you then go be with this person? You should have had different questions in the pods. If you feel like you're so different from other women and all, like, what were the questions that were asked in the pods, though? Did you ask these type of things? Like, what was key and what was important to you? The most important thing for me is to have a leader in the household, a man that's going to be independent. I don't have to operate, as women say, in my masculine energy. I can operate in my feminine. I just feel like certain questions should have been asked of this person. So, I mean, I don't know, but for me, you get what you worked for, and this is what you wanted. You got, oh, my little baby, my little this and that. Like, from the moment y'all really connected with each other, it was giving mom and son. Mom and son. And then now that he done did something else that done pissed you the hell off, right? And I'm not saying that he's right for pissing her off at all, because I do think that was stupid. You trying to motivate how she reacts to you based on somebody else, like, boy, I'm not that hoe. Get away from me with this, right? But aside from that, like, you know what it was when you signed up, and you still signed up for that. Just make sure you don't sign up any further by saying yes to that man at that damn altar. Based on what I would have seen of his damn mama, even though you weren't there for everything, but just hearing a mama say, my daughter-in-laws like to rat me out to my sons, that's alarming to me. On top of how he shows up, putting himself in the cabinet and shit, like, girl, no ma'am. Do not pass go. I feel no ways, okay? Now, Nick over there, he apologizing to Kate for how he dumped her pretty much, right? And she's telling him, like, you took advantage of my emotions, okay? At least that's how I feel, right? I felt like, for me, Nick talking, he was he's such a manipulator and a liar. And I feel like him and Annie deserve each other, but I don't want them to be together either. So he tells Kate, we have to acknowledge that, we're going through this process, and, we have to go through other connections. So that's what he says. And then in the same sentence, he flipped it and says, it was tough to tell you, that I had other connections. And I'm like, do you hear yourself? First, you want her to acknowledge the fact that y'all had other connections, and then you want to tell her that it was difficult for you to let her know that you had other connections. She's in this process too, dumbass. She definitely acknowledges that there are other connections. She knows that. And I love when she clocked his tea and said, but you had already told me about her. But what you also told me about her was that you love me and you haven't even gotten to that place with her yet. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say, oh, yeah, you said it. I was like, come on, girl. But he ain't talking about nothing, Kate. So you really saved yourself, because he ain't talking about shit. All right? He just really pissed me off with that. I feel like he was gaslighting her too. Okay? And that's pretty much what it was. Then he gonna sit up here and talk about something he had told Kat that I'm sorry, not Kat, but he told Annie that he loved Kate. Like, yeah, I hadn't told her that I loved you and this, that. I don't believe nothing he talking about. You ain't tell that girl. I don't believe you told her none of that. And knowing how Annie reacts off of the bare minimum and loves to put words in your mouth, she would have blew a gasket when it came down to that. So I don't believe you, okay? And then the other part of the conversation, I felt like he was trying to make it seem like to Kate that he was more into Annie than he was into her. And I'm like, stop. Knowing the real reason you did not move forward with her was because of religion. That's what it was, really religion. But also, I feel like you were fishing for something anyway. You were fishing for something. I don't know why, but yeah, he was fishing for something. But I'm glad he didn't get with my girl Kate, because Kate, I do believe the way Kate is, Kate probably wasn't going to let him slide with nothing either. She probably was going to stay on his head top about being an honest individual, and he probably wouldn't be able to handle Kate in the long run. And maybe that's something he knew and realized, which is why he no longer chose to be with her anymore. But there's that. Allie tells Annie about Nick being a love bomber, right? And of course, Annie don't want to believe it. She said, girl, I'm just telling you what I heard from Kate, okay? That's just what it is, okay? I said, girl, you giving Annie yet another reason to blow up on him because she's been searching for him anyway. So he comes over there, and the main thing, I won't do this anymore. I'm sorry, I won't do that, da-da-da. Well, what she did not say she wouldn't do was ignore the shit out of you, but she did. All right, so he comes over there trying to talk to her, and she just gave him the back of her head, didn't even address that man, pretty much ignores him. It was so embarrassing, okay? But it is what it is. Madison goes and tells Kate that it's multiple people out here that don't like Nick, and she said, yeah, because he fake as hell and he calculated. So I'm not surprised that don't nobody like his line. It's all right. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you got Madison over here talking about Joe wanting to put a baby in her, but when she look over her shoulder, he over here getting drunk. Shots. That's how I got drunk the last time. Well, if you notice how you got drunk the last time and you told Madison that you don't want to show up like that again, why would you continue to put yourself in that same situation? And Madison, if you see it, why you ain't going to go over there and say that to him? Like, hey, baby, you sure you want to do these? Because remember, we got into it last time. I just want to make sure we had this conversation real quick before you go down this road so you know how it's going to be. I guess, though. Anywho, KB is pretty much over Edmond when she comes out the bathroom. He goes over there trying to talk to her. And she said, baby, don't say anything to me. I'm with her on that part, though, too. Like, don't talk to me. Get out my damn face, okay? When you had the time to talk to me, you didn't know what to say. So don't be trying to come over here now trying to talk to me, telling me the same shit. I love you and this, that, and the other. I told your ass I don't want to hear that. I want to hear solutions to the problem. I'm not trying to hear no damn I love you type shit. Get out my face. I was with her on that portion. All right, but this review ended up being much longer than what I wanted it to be. You all can leave your thoughts and comments down below. I am Jami, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Tell them I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone